This morning we are joined by a special guest who has a very special story to share. This morning I'm here with Jessica Siedlecki. Thank you so much for being here with us this morning. Before we talk about your new business that you're starting up with, making these beautiful wreaths, talk about the events leading up to this. How did you decide to start your business?
Well, you know, it goes all the way back to 2002 when my second son was born. He was born, and I know now that he has what's called Wilson syndrome. It's a very rare genetic condition. He's only one of two in the whole UP diagnosed with this condition. His health was difficult, to say the least. When he was 4, he developed a really bad seizure disorder, which is common with the syndrome. And it got to a point where I couldn't work anymore. I just couldn't work anymore. And I tried really hard to work. I couldn't do it. And I ended up on public assistance so that I could stay home and I could take care of his needs, which worked for the time being, but not forever. So around 2008, I decided that I needed to make some changes in my life. I needed to do some things different so that, you know, my family wouldn't be stuck in this public assistance program forever. So I started at NMU and graduated from there in 2014 with summa cum laude honors. I have a path set up to Cooley Law School. I intend to, you know, my personal goals, I intend to start there within the next 4 years. And in the meantime, I wanted to go back to work. That was my plan. I graduated last December and I was gonna work, but shortly after graduation, my car broke down. And with a handicapped son who could only walk, you know, maybe about 4 blocks, it made it pretty much impossible to even get to Michigan Works. I spend so much time just trying to juggle life, you know, therapies and school and kids, and there's no time left for me to get to Michigan Works. And I was feeling really, really stuck. So after the kids started back to school in September, I just sat down and I just started to work, because that's the only way that I know how to get through this and to get where we need to go as a family, is to just work. So I sat with a pen and a paper and I started to brainstorm. I started to use all those skills that I learned at NMU and just try to put something together. I looked at the resources around me. I looked at my support systems. And it turns out that my boyfriend, he owns American Evergreens in Norway, Michigan, and he had a wreath making business which has been in storage for the last couple of years. And he also, you know, he works in the evergreen business. So by making wreaths, I've been able to kind of cut out any middlemen. The cost is extremely low. I took some donations, and I just worked. You know, some days I was on my laptop creating documents. Some days I was in my garage. Some days I was out picking pine cones. You know, I just wake up every single morning, get the kids out of school, and I work. And I've developed, you know, a really profitable business, and that's kind of what I'm looking to do.
All right, Jessica, thank you so much. Stay with us. We'll learn more about how she makes this wreath, and maybe we'll put one together ourselves. We'll be back with more of your TV6 Morning News after the break. We were talking earlier with Jessica about her journey so far with her son and her new business. Jessica, thank you again so much for being with us this morning.
Sure.
Give us a brief recap about what your son's been going through and how you started this business.
Well, my son has a massive seizure disorder. He's diagnosed with Wilson syndrome. And just, you know, life's problems kind of led us into kind of I guess a pothole, so to speak. And, you know, I'm doing this just to try and dig myself out, try and make things better.
Great. So show us, how do we start making these wreaths?
So you start over here with a wreath table and a giant pile of wreath brush that I would normally have. Mm-hmm. And you clip it down into these little piles like this.
So this is a special table specifically for wreaths.
This is a wreath table. This is just specifically for making wreaths. You buy these rings, and then you get your evergreen, and you're just going to stick it in. As you go, you learn a little bit more about the evenness and how to keep them even. And then you just come down here with your foot, give it a little clip.
Okay, so it clamps the wires together to hold the wreath in.
It clamps the wires to hold the wreath in, yes.
Okay.
And then
so I'm going to stick mine in just like this. And then clamp it down. Watch my fingers.
Yeah, don't put your fingers in there. That would hurt.
Okay, well that's pretty easy.
And then you keep going around and then.
So this is fully what the wreath would look like.
The full wreath, and then you want to decorate it from there. The most common bow, especially in the Christian culture, is the red bow. Mm-hmm.
So you make your own bows as well?
I make my own bows. There are bow machines you can buy. I don't have one. They're simple. I make them at home. I'm taking care of my kids, sitting on the floor. I just started to wrap bows. So literally started with a piece of a box and made these little things. And when you start, you're just going to want to start a little bit above the slit. And then you want to always want to count, because you don't want 2 bows on one side and 3 on the other. So there's 1, 1, 2, 3, and 3. Once you get it there, you want to grab your little piece of wire. You just pop it right through there. Oh, I'm sorry, my hands are a little shaky.
And you just wrap them around just like so?
Once you wrap it around, but I always pull it off first. You know, kind of keep your spot.
Yeah.
Because it's really important that you pull that wire nice and tight. If you don't pull it tight, your bow is just not gonna
look like a good bow.
Yeah,
we need those good bows.
You need a good pinch on that bow like that.
Okay, so then you just pull it like this?
Yeah, pull it through and then just
wrap it around?
Just grab and twist. Yep, give it a nice twist.
Right. I've never made my own bow before.
No.
Thank you.
And then, of course, on a bow, we like to have the little things, and those always vary a little bit. You just kind of wrap it right between your wire. Give your wires another little twist.
Jessica, obviously you know what you're doing, because I am struggling with this. This is just not working very well.
And then you end up with
well, that looks really good. Mine is getting there.
She's getting there. She's getting there. I do on the deluxe wreaths, I do a double bow, so you can get actually 2 colors.
And you just pull these out to make them full looking?
Yeah, you grab them, and once you get the wreath, I usually I would like to ship them down, because you don't want them to get kind of ruined. But
yeah,
you can. I use
good.
all wired bows, so they're fixable no matter what. I'm sorry, I can't even get it out either.
Yours looks great. So I'm seeing these pine cones over here. Do you paint your own pine cones?
I do.
You also put on the wreaths?
I've collected. I've actually been out over the last couple of weeks combing the woods. I've been collecting pine cones everywhere. I paint them, and then I put a little piece of wire on. So once you get here, you come in, you're going to wrap your bow. I'm sorry, I'm confused on my side. You know, I'm going to wrap that wire in.
Right.
And then go ahead and stick a couple pine cones in. You just want to pull.
Just wrap them around like this?
You just got to work that wire through the back. Sometimes you can just flip it up and get it under. Twist the wire in. A lot of times I'll do 2 of them together, and then you can
bunch them up.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit easier to stick them in, because then, I'm sorry, you twist them in and just wrap them around. And basically, and then, of course, that's the classic, just the red and the bows. I also, for the deluxe, for a little extra cost, you can get all kinds of neat little.
Yeah, I saw you had an ornament on. Yeah, this one over here. You
I do. This one I'm offering an ornament too. I have 4 ornaments that I'm still completely. Haven't completely tied up exactly, but I'm almost there. So I'll have those specific ones on my order forms when I'm ready. You can add in picks. This isn't going to go for me
those look
easily.
Good. Well, I wanted to show.
Possibly flowers. I make each one unique. And then this is my own special.
Yeah, I wanted to show this one. It's really cute. The candy cane.
Special little bow. The candy cane. It does break with the tradition of the wreath, because the wreath technically is about everlasting. It's that non-break. But for a nice secular decoration, I thought this was really pretty. It's just I call it the striped candy cane. It's about 2 to 2.5 feet tall, and I really like that one.
All right, Jessica. Well, thank you again so much for being with us this morning. You can contact Jessica at ahandup@yahoo.com. You can also see her information there. So thank you once again. Stay with us, reporting live here in the studio. We'll be back with more of your TV6 Morning News after the break.